Modern buyers don't want to be sold to, they want to be understood. And honestly, same. That quote completely reframed how I thought about sales, especially in a field like spatial biology, where the science is still evolving and the needs aren't always obvious. Hey, it's me, Bruno. Welcome back to Bruno's BioLogs, where we break down the science, strategy, and the stories shaping the future of biology. Before I got into sales, I was a researcher, and honestly, I never really imagined myself doing anything commercial. I really thought sales was all about suits, quotas, pressure tactics, not really my vibe. But talking, that is very much my style, evidently shown by me hosting these mini monologues every week. And what surprised me, and maybe this can resonate with you, was how much of what I loved about research actually carried over. Asking questions, listening deeply, getting to the root of a problem. Turns out, sales isn't about talking people into things, it's about being curious and helping people figure out what's possible. Spatial biology is complex, cutting edge, and often ambiguous. Researchers are asking new questions, but they're not really sure how to answer them. That's why curiosity is such a powerful tool, not just for uncovering technical needs, but for building trust. In the Challenger sale, Dixon and Adamson talk about reps who teach, tailor, and take control. But you can't teach if you're not listening first, you can't tailor if you don't understand what they care about, and you definitely can't take control if you don't even know what problem they're even trying to solve. I want to talk about a few key books that really shaped how I approach this. First off, Spin Selling by Rackham. SPIN stands for situation, problem, implication, and need payoff. When I'm talking to a scientist, I'm not really jumping to product features. I'm walking through those aforementioned steps. What does your current workflow look like when you're trying to characterize this tissue? Where in the process are you seeing limitations, either technically or in your ability to interpret results? What happens if that limitation holds you back in your next study or publication? If we could help you visualize that pathway more clearly, how would that impact your research goals? That's when I feel like the conversation truly gets engaging. Next up, gap selling by Keenan. Gap selling teaches us the job of a salesperson is to identify the gap between where someone is and where they want to be. In spatial, that gap is often murky, and it's our job to help make it visible. No pun intended. For example, a researcher might be running bulk RNA-seq and knows something interesting is happening in their tumor microenvironment, but they can't localize where or which cells are expressing key genes. So the current state is bulk data shows elevated immune markers, but it's all averaged and locationless. Their future state is they want to see which cells in the tissues are expressing those markers and where they are in relation to the tumor border. And finally, the gap is visibility, resolution, and context. Curiosity helps you define that gap, and spatial tools help you close it. The last book I will touch on is To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. Daniel Pink reminds us that selling is about empathy, attunement, and trust. And one of the most trustworthy things you can say in a meeting is, I don't know, but I'll find out. That vulnerability builds way more credibility than pretending you've got it all figured out. I've had moments early in my sales career where I felt pressure to have the perfect answer on the spot, but honestly, the turning point came for me when I stopped doing that. Now, when I admit that I don't really know and follow up quickly with the right answer, I really feel like that builds better relationships and moves projects forward. The more curious I am in early conversations, the more my customers will invite me to future ones. Curiosity can turn a pilot into a program, a single slide into a study series. Selling spatial isn't about having the perfect pitch. It's about helping scientists unlock insights they didn't even know they could reach, and that all starts with a good question. Thanks for tuning in to Bruno's BioLogs. If this episode resonated with you, drop a comment, share it with a colleague, or let me know your favorite sales book down below. Until next time, stay curious.